In tonight's in-depth coverage, a bill that would loosen the handling of chicken waste is moving forward at the state capitol. I learned supporters say current regulations are hurting farmers, but critics say it would allow companies to easily pollute Oklahoma waters. Despite some balking from opponents, a bill easing regulations on poultry waste that can end up in Oklahoma's rivers and lakes cleared another legislative hurdle Monday.
Since 2016, phosphorus levels have gone down. We're seeing improvements, and those are a result of the best management practices that this is going to help and encourage.
House Bill 4118 takes some of the responsibility for water pollution from chicken farms off of private industry and makes it the responsibility of the state as long as the farm is abiding by what is called a nutrient management plan. A farm cannot be sued for any runoff pollution caused by chicken poop that may get into a waterway.
It's just looking to prevent any suing on the industry because of the industry and not the actual harms that are done.
Altus Republican Senator Brent Howard says family-owned and small poultry farms are being crushed by current regulations and sometimes being dragged into court and spending tens of thousands of dollars to prove their innocence. Howard says 4118 removes absolute style definitions and instead requires things to be taken on a case-by-case basis, where specific circumstances must be studied. In cases of gross negligence, lawsuits can still happen.
You have multinational, multi-billion-dollar corporations such as Tyson that are using Oklahoma as its dumping grounds to pollute our state.
A large group of opponents are teaming up to try to kill the bill, saying it's a green light for big chicken companies, among others, to pollute and only get a slap on the wrist. They say the past proves the poultry industry doesn't care about Oklahoma's water.
The current law, which prohibits chicken waste from being into the water of Oklahoma, didn't stop it from happening. So we don't know how a nutrient management plan would do any better.
Brendan Hoover, who represents opponents like the city of Tulsa, says the Department of Agriculture will have to let some pollution slide because they don't have enough personnel to do the monitoring 4118 requires. One of the opponents of House Bill 4118 is the Cherokee Nation. I had Principal Chief Chuck Hoskin Jr. on the program last week. He says the bill will cause permanent damage to the Cherokee tribal lands and is a windfall for polluters.
But it really does need to be stopped because it really is a safe harbor for polluters. We don't need that in this state. There needs to be accountability, and no one should escape it.
For more than 2 decades, the Illinois River has been at the center of a lawsuit that is still active in federal court in northeastern Oklahoma. Back in 2004, then Attorney General Drew Edmondson filed a lawsuit against large poultry farms and processors saying the Illinois River's natural beauty had been severely polluted from chicken waste. A trial that lasted months took place in 2009, and for 14 years, no decision came down from U.S. District Judge Gregory Frizzell. Within that 14 years of waiting, state and federal agencies began cleanup efforts on their own that are still in place today. Then Frizzell released his ruling in January 2023, saying poultry farms and processors were responsible for heavily polluting the river. Poultry processors like Cargill and Tyson Chicken then filed an appeal, saying the ruling came down way too late and was no longer relevant as to where things are today. We are still waiting to see what a judgment is exactly handed down in this case against the polluters. Phosphorus from chicken waste is still constantly monitored, especially in the Illinois River. Phosphorus is to blame for the Illinois River and other eastern Oklahoma bodies of water having a cloudiness to them. Agencies in Oklahoma and Arkansas share the duties of monitoring phosphorus because it can be an indicator of new pollution seeping into the entire watershed. Phosphorus is also a key that certain types of algae, certain types of algae like to feed off of. An increase in phosphorus can lead to an increase in algae that will hurt fish and other wildlife that rely on the river. It could also impact the fun you have if you like to float on that river. Even though the bill is moving forward, the senator behind the bill says there are still lots of things being done behind closed doors, little tweaks being made to address problematic language in the bill. We will have to wait and see if there are any amendments made to the bill before it goes to a final vote in the state Senate. Keep in mind, if any changes are made, it will need to go back to the House for another vote.